Hi, everyone. Welcome to the campus of Case Western Reserve University. Welcome specifically to what you see in front of you, the beautiful Mather Park, for today's non-conference Spartan softball matchup with the visiting Terriers of Hiram. Lexi Miskey in the circle for Case Western Reserve, and here's the first pitch of the afternoon, and it's a swinging strike. On the junior center fielder leading off for Hiram, Danielle Robles. Ron Yantz along with you this afternoon for 2 today. 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. Games moved up an hour as we are expecting the opportunity for some nasty weather as the afternoon moves ahead. Robles swinging at a high fastball. It's strike 2. And if the players didn't know it ahead of time when they stood for the national anthem and cast their eyes at the American flag, they figured out that the wind is blowing strong and it's blowing straight out to center field. So today we may see more than 1 or 2 home runs. The 0-2 pitch outside. Miskey on the ear. Lexi has been, as usual, sensational. 15 wins, 3 losses, earned run average, a very low 2.52. This is her 120th inning of the season. And here comes the 1-2 offering. Robles in foul territory. Let's take a look at that Case Western defense as we look at it from left to right. Let's start in the outfield. In left field, it's Kate Coonan, a first-year player. In center field, the sophomore Nia Durham. In right field, another first-year Spartan softballer, Ashley Miller. The 1-2 pitch before the infield. Ground ball, Bella Russo down the line, play at second, and now they've got in a rundown is Robles, and she gets back to first base. Boy, that snuck inside Russo's glove. That was a perfectly placed base hit for Danielle Robles as she leads off this game with a solid single. Robles is at first, and now at the plate for Hiram is their senior shortstop, number 2, Faith Kawamura. Bunt offering, pulled back. It's high for ball 1. The infield for the Spartans looks like this. It's Bisberry at third base. She's in tight with Kawamura showing bunt. Karen Potts at shortstop, the sophomore. Comes the 0-1 or the 1-0 pitch. Bunt is down and it's foul. It's Bella Russo, the senior first baseman, coming up and fielding it. And then the grad student at second base, Kai Gross. Miskey's in the circle, and behind the plate, senior Caitlin Lamb. That Spartan infield goes junior at third, sophomore at short. Grad student at second, senior at first, senior in the circle, senior behind the plate. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. It's fouled back for 2 strikes. Kawamura on the season hitting .277 in 31 games coming into today. Looks like she's having a bee attack. With the warm weather and the spring blossoms and the spring flowers, the bees are thriving right now. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's high, counts even at 2. Hiram comes into today's doubleheader. In 32 games, they've got 20 wins. They are 20-12 on the year, 8-4 in North Coast Athletic Conference play. Solid program. The 2-2 offering. Here comes Miskey, and it's a high heat for ball 3. Lexi on the year in now 120 innings has given up 79 hits, 43 earned runs. She's walked 81 and she has struck out 126. With a runner on first, here comes the full count pitch. And that's heat right down the middle, and that's strike 3.
Now batting, number 26,
Dana Maikaru stepping up for Hiram, the number 3 hitter in the lineup of Scott Pullman. First pitch to Makaro is fouled back. Dana on the year, hitting just below 300, and I mean just below, 299. She's got 29 hits and 97 at bats. Robles on at first. On the season, 7 of 7 in steal attempts. So it's not like she goes a lot, but when she decides to go, she is perfect. Count on Makaro is no balls, 2 strikes. Miskey looks in. Caitlin Lamb's ready. So is Lexi. Here comes the pitch. And it's swing and a miss, strike 3. So back-to-back strikeouts for Miskey after the leadoff hitter Robles snuck one in inside the bag at first base. Cleanup hitter stepping into the plate. It's Darian Cano. Cano, the opposing pitcher in today's Game 1. That's inside for strike 1. If you look at the Hiram team up and down that batting order, statistically, there are only 2 that are hitting above 300, and those 2 are hitting above 400. It's Robles on at first at 402, and the young woman in the batter's box, Cano, she's hitting nearly 500. That off-speed pitch had her fooled. Cano on the year, 479. Leads the team in hitting. Leads the team in doubles, leads the team in triples, leads the team in home runs, leads the team in runs batted in, slugging, everything. She is the straw that stirs the drink in this Hiram offense. Here comes the 0-2 from Miskey. Cano's also pretty good in the circle. We'll talk about that as Case Western comes to bat. One ball, 2 strikes. Miskey to Lamb, here it comes. Swinging high. Lexi got everybody to strike out that inning. Smile on her face. High five from Russo and Lamb, and we head to the bottom half of the first. Hiram got a runner on. It was stranded at first. Spartans up next. Bottom half of the first here from Mather Park. Hiram did not score in the top half of the inning. They got the leadoff hitter Robles on with a single to right. And then Lexi Miskey struck out the next 3. This is Karen Potts, the sophomore shortstop. A left-handed hitting shortstop in the box to lead off the bottom half of the first for the home team. First pitch inside, it's ball 1. In the circle for Hiram is Darian Cano. Cano, their ace. The 1-0 pitch called low. It's 2-0. Cano on the year, making her 16th appearance. This is her 15th start in those 16 appearances. She has thrown almost double the amount of innings as to anybody else on her team in the pitching staff, 102. It's outside ball 3. The next closest is Lily Green, who's thrown 57. So Cano is almost the start, the middle, and the end when you think of pitching for Hiram. 13-2 on the year. 3-0 pitch. Potts been pretty good this year. Second season wearing the royal blue of Case Western Reserve, and Karen's hitting 356. The 3-1 pitch fouled back. Count's now full. Potts made a splash as a first-year player a year ago. Came on the scene, was firmly planted in the shortstop spot in the middle of that infield. She was so good at short, they moved Kai Gross over to second. Gross, the longtime shortstop, now a grad student playing second base. Here comes the full count pitch, and it's high. Karen lays off of it for ball 4.
Now batting, number 17, Kai Gross.
Speaking of Gross, Kai Gross, I'll say this with a slight exaggeration, but she has an opportunity in her grad year to set an awful lot of offensive records. And I think she's one away from tying the all-time home run mark. Annie Wennerberg has 32 or 33. Guy's got 32. That's a ground ball. Potts hops over. So Kai Gross gets Karen Potts to second.
Now batting, number 11,
Potts looked like a hurdler
Russo.
on her way to second. This is Bella Russo. Bella, the senior first baseman. Russo hitting 343 on the season. Pitch to her, a little squibber back to shortstop. That's going to end the inning. Potts took off, then fell trying to get back, and that's an easy double play for the Terriers. So Spartans are scoreless, so is Hiram. We head to the top of the second. We'll be back.
Angel Santana.
Angel Santayan at the plate for Hiram to lead off the top half of the second. Takes a pitch inside, moves her off the plate. And that's ball 1 from Miskey. Santayan on the season is hitting just 255. And that's a swinging strike. Angel the DP today in the Hiram lineup. One ball, one strike for Miskey. Lexi in the first inning gave up a base hit, then struck out 3 in a row. And she did it dominating on the upper part of the strike zone. She blew 3 heaters by Hiram hitters high in the strike zone. See what she does here, 1-2. It was high and inside, and that one hits Santean. So Angel is on, hit by pitch. And that'll bring to the plate Hannah Marlowe. Marlowe, the sophomore third baseman. Pop-up. Russo settles under it. No play at first. Marlowe couldn't get it down. That's the first out of the inning.
Now batting, number 4, Megan Mosier.
This is Megan Mosier at the plate, the junior. Mosier today playing left field. First pitch, swinging strike. Megan from Kent. Theodore Roosevelt High School. Kent State, not too far from the Case Western Reserve University campus. Miskey blowing it by right now, Mosier. Miskey's ready. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. On deck is Haven Papineau, the sophomore first baseman. Moser stays alive for one more pitch. Moser, the number 7 hitter in this Hiram lineup today. Miskey's ready, so is Lamb. Here's the pitch. And that's in the dirt. Caitlin Lamb doing a nice job keeping it in front of her. But Caitlin Lamb, since she took over starting catching duties a year ago, has been absolutely outstanding behind the plate. And this year, she has really taken off offensively. 2-2 pitch, strike 3. If Miskey needs an out, she just goes out and gets it all by herself. That is the 4th strikeout. Five outs in 2 innings, 4 of them by strikeout. Here's Papineau. 2 outs in the inning. Santean on at first base. 1 ball on Papineau. Scoreless game, top of the second. That's strike 1. Haven Papineau is from Indianapolis, Indiana, Ben Davis High School. The Indiana Pacers could be the Cleveland Cavaliers' next opponent in the NBA playoffs. Indiana's got to take care of business tonight. I think they're at home against the Milwaukee Bucks. Cavaliers have advanced. Two outs, 2 strikes. Papineau at the plate and lays off the high fastball from Miskey. Jared Allen for the Cavaliers looked like the heyday of Otto Pennica last night in that game in Miami. Otto Pennica, our public address announcer, Hall of Famer, Dr. Everything here at Case Western Reserve. Does Otto have a doctorate in everything? He's shaking his head, yes. Yeah. Doctor of everything. The 2-2 pitch. Papineau stays alive. Hiram's here on a 3-game losing streak. They have been very good this year. They're 24-12, but of late they've struggled, and the count's now full at 3 balls, 2 strikes. They lost once to Wittenberg on Saturday. Then they lost a doubleheader in Greencastle, Indiana to DePaul University. They lost 3-2, and they lost 9-1. In their last 3 games, they have scored only 3 runs. And that's a swinging strike for strike 3. We head to the bottom of the second. Still scoreless. This is Caitlin Lamb, the senior Spartan catcher from Bolingbrook, Illinois. I mentioned earlier when Caitlin was in full gear behind the plate catching Miskey, what an offensive season she has had. She's the number 2 hitter on the team right now after 33 games. Fouls the first offering from Cano back. You might have heard that. That hit the top of the press box. Had the ting-ting to it. Lamb on the year, in 96 at-bats, has 35 hits. She's hitting .365. She's also hit 5 home runs. Here's the pitch from Cano. It's on the outside part of the plate, called strike 2. Cano painted the outside part of the plate. That was a perfect pitch. Darian Cano, the senior from Hiram, in the circle against the senior catcher from Case Western. And that's hit deep down left field line in foul territory and just outside the reach of the Hiram left fielder Moser. The wind has died down considerably since the beginning of this game, but it's still out there. That flag in center field has still got a good ripple to it. Straight away. It is blowing out the wind. The 0-2 pitch to Lamb. And that is strike 3. Caitlin knew it when she took it. Cano absolutely froze her at the plate, and that's the first out of the inning.
Number 6, Biz Berry.
This is Biz Berry, the junior third baseman. Berry, one of 5 Spartan starters hitting above 300. Biz is hitting .310. Right back to Cano. So far, real easy in the bottom half of the second for Hiram.
Now batting number 22, Ashley Miller.
First-year outfielder Ashley Miller at the plate. Cano's first pitch is a strike to Miller. Two outs here in the bottom half of the second. Spartans yet to find a hit. Little spinner to second. Makaru over to Papineau. The inning's over. 3 up, 3 down for Case Western. We'll head to the top of the third. Top of the third here from Mather Park. This is Ari Torres, the number 9 hitter. Leading off the third for Hiram. Pitch is high and inside. It's ball 1. Lexi Miskey gave up a base hit, first batter of the first inning, and then hit a batter to lead off the second. And other than that, she has been absolutely outstanding. She has had 5 strikeouts and 6 outs, and now it's 5 and 7 as that's Russo catching the pop-up from Torres.
Now batting number 15, Danielle Robles.
Top of the order for Hiram. Here is the only player on either side, and we're only in the third inning, but the only player on either side with a base hit in the game. That's Robles. Robles snuck a little ground ball under the glove of Russo, just inside the first base bag to lead off the game. Lexi Miskey from Pittsford, New York. Played her high school softball at Mendon High School in Pittsford. 0-1 pitch on the outside part of the plate for a ball. Senior, single season program records and strikeouts. She had 249 strikeouts a year ago. Single season program record and strikeout rate per game, averaging 9 per game, 8.96 to be exact. Season program record and batting average against. In the season of 2023, opponents hit just 160 against Lexi Miskey. She's the single season program record in wins. She had 26 a year ago, and that's a swinging strike. Counts now even at 2. And then 3 years ago, she earned the single season program record in earned run average. She threw for a 1.27 earned run average. So if there's something to be done in the circle on a softball field, Lexi Miskey has not only done it, she's done it better than anybody else. Ground ball. Barry's going to have to be quick. And she is. No! It was bang, bang, but that's a base hit for Robles. Boy, Barry got that over there as fast as she possibly could, but Robles, hitting out of the left side of that batter's box, just beat the throw. So that's an infield single. Robles with the 2 hits, barely hit one out of the infield in her first at bat, and that one did not go out of the infield, but nonetheless, she has not gotten out yet. She's on at first. Kawamura at the plate, and the first pitch is fouled back. Faith Kawamura, the senior shortstop, struck out swinging in her first at bat. 1 out in the inning. It's the top half of the third. Game 1 of 2 this afternoon from Mather Park. Robles at first. She is 7 of 7 in stolen base attempts this year. Kawamura pulled it back, I guess. I think she gets the benefit of the doubt on that one. Miskey looks in. Lamb awaits the pitch, and here it comes. That one's under the hands of the. Now the delay steal, throw down, and that is an easy out. Boy, Hiram just. Robles not sure what she was thinking, but Hiram just ran themselves out of something. Give Caitlin Lamb, the senior catcher, credit for having her eyes up. She saw Robles take off. She probably was completely surprised by it because that's an easy out. Two outs now in the inning. 3 balls, 1 strike to the hitter. Kawamura, the number 2 hitter, trying to improve from the swinging strikeout in her first at bat. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. And that's a fly ball. That's trouble, left field line, and it's up against the wall. A one-hopper. Throw to second, great throw, and just off the bag. And it's a 2-out double for Kawamura. Yeah, that really puts an exclamation point on the ouch of the caught stealing by Robles. Robles would have scored from first on that double down the left field line. 2 outs. First pitch swinging, little pop-up as Barry is under it, and the inning's over. So Hiram threatens, but they do not cross the plate. Bottom of the third. Spartans still looking not only for their first run, looking for their first hit. That's next. Kaylin Zuzai ready to step to the plate in the right-handed batter's box for Case Western Reserve here in the bottom half of the third inning. Scoreless game from Mather Park. Deering Cano in the circle for Hiram. She has yet to give up a hit. Zuzai, ground ball third base. And that's fouled. It hit her in the batter's box. They're going to bring her back to home plate. Back to Cano for a second. She gave up a walk to Karen Potts to lead off the game. Then they doubled up Potts in the inning, so Cano faced only 3 batters. In the second inning, she got a strikeout of Lamb, ground ball back to her by Biz Berry, and then a spinner to her second baseman Miller to end the inning. So she has pitched to the minimum now here heading into the 3rd inning. Cano has been good, and she's been good for a long time. 2 years ago, she was the pitcher of the year in the North Coast Atlantic Conference. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. It's fouled back. That year that she was pitcher of the year in 2023, her earned run average was 1.56. She had 12 wins, 5 complete games, 3 saves. She threw over 100 innings and had over 100 strikeouts as batters hit just a 183 mark against her. Counts 1-2 on Zuzai, the leadoff hitter for Case Western. Kaylin on the season, trying to get to 200. She's hitting 191. And now this her 48th at bat. Cano's ready, Zuzai's ready. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. Zuzai with discipline, counts now even at 2. Hiram comes into today with 24 wins. They've lost 3 in a row, though. And that's a swinging strike. Actually, Case Western has the 24 wins. It's Hiram with 20. Nonetheless, both of them with 20 plus. So the scheduled batter was Kate Coonan, the first-year outfielder, but Josie Henry has sent her back to the dugout, and Tara Fritcher will hit. Fritcher, the junior, putting the batting gloves on.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Batting for Coonan, number 3, Tara Fritcher.
So Fritcher will hit with 1 out in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Tara's first pitch is low and outside. It's ball 1. Tara does this a lot for head coach Josie Henry, and that's pinch hit. This is her spot, her role on this softball team. That pitch is inside. Tara, a veteran of a lot of success, including last year's team that made it all the way to the College World Series. Two-0 pitch. Tara got one to hit, swung through it. That's strike 1. Well, she jumped out of her shoes, literally, swinging at that pitch. Off speed. Man, that looked beautiful. Must have been low. 3 balls and a strike. That had everybody fooled. Three-one pitch, fouled off. Count will run full. Cano a year ago was named to the 40th anniversary all-decade team for the North Coast Atlantic Conference. She pitched in 42 games a year ago, made 41 starts. And she strikes out her second batter of the inning.
Now batting, number 16, Nyla Durham.
So at the beginning of today's game, I had said that Cano is the beginning, the middle, and the end when you think about pitching for this Hiram staff. And that stat right there is proof positive. 42 games as a pitcher a year ago, 41 as starts. Nyla Durham at the plate takes one under her elbows inside for ball one. Durham, the sophomore center fielder. Nyla from Akron. Durham, the number 9 hitter in this Josie Henry Spartan batting order. Hitting .222 on the season. To this point, Cano in the circle has faced the minimum. This is her 9th batter. We're in the bottom of the 3rd with 2 outs. And she now has 2 strikes on Durham. If there has been one weakness to the Spartan team this year, I think it's offense. I think they have struggled to score runs against good pitchers, and here's a good example. They'll go scoreless and hitless, and we'll go to the top half of the 4th. Hiram's up next. Little defensive update for Case Western Reserve as we head to the top half of the 4th in a scoreless game. Elena Steffes is now in right field. Ashley Miller, who was the right fielder, has moved over to left. Miller taking the slot for Kate Coonan in left field. So Coonan is back in the dugout for the Spartans. Miller is in left, and Steffes is in right field. We're in the top half of the 4th, scoreless game. Miskey in the circle. Here comes the first pitch, and that's a hard ground ball to third, and it is just foul. Boy, way out in front of it, putting good aluminum on it was Cano. Talked about what a great pitcher Cano is, and she is, but she's equally as good at the plate. Leads the team in hitting this year. She led them last year, hit .411 last year. That pitch is inside. It's called strike 2. Led the team in batting average, .411. Led them in runs scored with 35. Doubles with 12. These are all numbers her junior year. Led them with triples and 6 and home runs with 3. She's down 0-2 in the count to Miskey. It's pitcher to pitcher. Actually, if you look back to her sophomore year in softball, Darian Cano, she led the team in hitting that year. She hit .403 as a sophomore. And she is struck out by Lexi Miskey. Miskey's gotten her twice today.
Now batting, number 11, Angel Santan.
Angel Santan at the plate for Hiram. Miskey hit her with an inside fastball in her last at bat. Only 2 batters have reached base so far for Hiram. One is the young woman at the plate, Santan. The other is Robles, their leadoff hitter. Robles is 2 for 2 with 2 singles. I talked about Lexi's single season program records. As you would imagine, she owns many career program records as well. It's a fly ball to Steffes and right. Elena is under it. And that's the second out of the inning. Can of corn to Elena Steffes.
Number 6, Anna Marlowe.
Anna Marlowe now at the plate for Hiram. Marlowe, the sophomore third baseman. Lexi came into this year with a program record 615 strikeouts. Strikeout rate of 8.96, also a program record. Team struggle hitting the ball against Miskey. She has set a program record. Opponent's batting average 176. Her earned run average in her career, and this is a young woman who, since her first steps at Mather Park, she has been the leader in the circle. Her career earned run average is 1.71. That's a program record. And her career wins, 65. The 65 wins, I'll ask Fast Eddie, the sports information director, directly to my right. That's coming into this year, right? So she's got 80 with the 15 that she has so far. That just adds to her career program record total. 1-1 pitch. It's a little pop. Gross is under it, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. Head to the bottom of the fourth, still scoreless. Case Western Reserve still looking for their first hit. We're in the bottom of the fourth. The Spartan hitters have been retired in order, kind of. I mean, Potts led off the game with a walk, but she was doubled up at second base. So there have been 9 batters in 3 innings for Case Western, 9 outs. Potts' first pitch, swinging, pop up infield. Wind is out there. Shallow short. Wow, that turned into a crazy play for the Hiram shortstop. Kawamura makes the out, though. That's a lot of work. I mean, that's a good play by Faith Kawamura. That wind is really swirling. That easily could have fallen in for a base hit. Kai Gross at the plate, swinging, one hopper to a third baseman waiting for it. That's Marlowe across the field. Marlowe to Papineau, and there are 2 outs in the inning. So Cano is making quick work of the Spartans here in the bottom half of the fourth. Can Russo break through? Bell at the plate, soft line drive to shortstop in her first at bat. That's heat inside. It's under the hands, and it's ball one. Russo rolls over on a ground ball, 2 hops to second, and that's the end of the inning. Spartans go meekly. They have yet to challenge the mastery of Cano. We head to the top half of the fifth in a scoreless game. This will be Megan Moser stepping to the plate for Hiram as we start the fifth inning here from Mather Park. Mentioned earlier, Moser from nearby Kent. If you look at this Hiram lineup, though, their roster, there are 4 players on the roster from Hawaii, and there are 5 players on the roster from California. So there is a very definitive West Coast influence for Hiram, and it's been that way for a couple of years. I think Scott Pullman, their head coach, who was head coach before, then he became athletic director, and now he's back being a head coach as well as athletic director. He has really started a pipeline. And one of the players that, really kind of, put Hiram, if you want to say, on the softball map, but definitely made people nationally stand up and notice them, is Case Western's assistant coach, Giselle Bahena. And that's Gross coming over down that right field line, and Kai makes a real nice play. That was right on the line, and Gross with the wind, ball blowing away from her with a sliding scoop. But back to Bahena for a second. Giselle has been the assistant coach here, the lead assistant on the staff of Josie Henry for this now her third season, 2023, last year, and now this year. But before that, she was a player, and I mean exclamation point type of player. That ball is hit sharp but foul. For the team that Case Western's playing today, that's Hiram. She played for the Terriers for 6 years. Bahena did. She led the team to the NCAA tournament in their final 2 seasons. Now, the team was 8-30 when she arrived in 2017. And they got real good real fast, and Bahena was really one of the leaders of that turnaround. I mean, how good was Giselle? Is Miskie's even 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out here in the top half of the 5th. In 2022, she became the program's first ever All-American. She was the North Coast Athletic Conference Player of the Year. That pitch is outside. It's ball 2. I wish we had multiple cameras here today because we could put a shot on Bahena and show Giselle as we're talking about her. But she played on this field for Hiram a couple of seasons ago and just was – they couldn't get her out. Case Western and anybody else that played in that NCAA regional that the Spartans hosted. Counts 3-1 right now on Papineau, the number 8 hitter in this Hiram lineup. So Miskie's going to have to work it back 1 strike at a time, and here it comes. And that is strike 2. Miskie got 3 strikeouts in the first. She got 2 more in the second. She got 1 in the fourth. She's got 6 strikeouts. The full count pitch to Papineau, and that's a pop-up. Right back to Lexi Miskie, and there are now 2 outs in the inning. So great job by Miskie battling back. First pitch to Torres with 2 outs here in the 5th is a swinging strike. This is a pitcher's duel showcase. Miskie has given up 3 hits, but she scattered them. One player, the leadoff hitter, Robles, for Hiram, has 2 of the 3. Cano, in the circle for Hiram, has yet to give up a hit. Nobody has scored a run. Hiram had a runner at second. That is the closest they have got. Kawamura was on at second in the 3rd inning. Spartans had Karen Potts on at second in the 1st inning, but she got doubled up on a soft line drive to the shortstop. Potts was on due to a walk. Moved to second on a Kai Gross ground out, and then doubled up on a soft liner by Bella Russo. That's been it for Case Western. The 2-1 pitch, and it's a little too far inside. Counts now 3-1. So second batter in a row takes Miskie to a 3-1 count. Torres, the number 9 hitter, popped up to Russo in her first at bat. Here comes the 3-1 pitch from Miskie to Caitlin Lamb. That's a ground ball, 2-hopper to Potts. Karen rifle across the field to Russo. And we'll head to the top of the 5th, or the bottom of the 5th, rather. Scoreless game. Case Western Reserve still looking for that elusive first hit.
For your Spartans. Number 2, Caitlin Lamb.
This will be Caitlin Lamb That will lead off the bottom of the fifth for Case Western Reserve. Laminer first at bat. Got caught looking at strike three. She led off the second with a called third strike. Bahena, that Spartan assistant coach that was a star at Hiram, is now coaching at first base. So if you can see Giselle, and I don't think you can in our shot. I think the dugout blocks out Giselle. Caitlin Land, two-hopper. That's an easy out. Third to first, Marlowe to Papineau.
Now batting number 6 is Barry.
Cano is doing just enough to keep these Spartan hitters off balance. I mean, nobody has really put a solid lick on anything that Cano has thrown them. As a matter of fact, no one has hit one to the outfield. Russo hit a line drive in the first inning, but it was a soft liner to the shortstop. There was a pop-up to short. Everything else has been a ground ball or a strikeout. Cano's walked only one batter. One batter has reached in this game, and she was doubled up in the first inning. There's a ground ball up the middle. Tough play. Great play. Backhand and out at first base. How about Mekaru at second base? Went to the hole near the bag, backhanded it, and threw a strike to Papineau at first. The no-hitter stays intact. Going to put a star next to that one in the scorebook. Double star. Miller at the plate. First-year player, Ashley Miller. Ashley from Colorado. Grandview High School in Aurora, Colorado. Up in the count, 1 ball, no strikes. Here comes Cano's 1-0 offering. It's a pop-up in the infield. Foul territory, and that ends the inning. Harmless again, the Spartan Bats. They go 1, 2, 3. We head to the top of the 6th. Game is scoreless. So number 15 hitting from the left side is the leadoff hitter for Hiram, Danielle Robles. Robles, 2 for 2 today. Led off the game with a ground ball, snuck just inside the bag at first and into right field. And that had a base hit to third base in her second at bat. Steps up and swings at strike 1. Robles, a junior from Citrus Valley High School in Highland, California. One of 5 on the roster from the West Coast state of California. 0-1 pitch, ground ball. Potts going to have to throw it quick. In the dirt, doesn't happen. That speed of Robles just threatens everybody. It's called a base hit. That will be the 3rd of the game for Robles.
Now batting number 2, Faith Kawamura.
She is like a dictionary definition, Robles, of a leadoff hitter. Left-hand side of the plate, with speed, makes great contact. Doesn't have to hit it hard, doesn't have to hit it particularly deep anywhere. She is a threat just with her legs. Showing bunt, and it's a pass ball. And Hiram's in business. Got a runner at second with nobody out. Game scoreless. We're in the top half of the sixth. Robles, the Terrier, standing at second base, has 3 of the 4 hits in the game. Miski going to go to work. Kawamura at the plate. She's 1 for 2 with a double and a strikeout. She will try to move the runner Robles over from second, either hitting the ball right side of the infield or dropping down a sac bunt. Pitch was high, counts 2-0. Caitlin Lamb asked for did the batter offer at it? And the first base umpire was not making eye contact with the third base umpire. And really, that's the one to make the call. So they had to go to third base, and he says no. So here's the 2-0 pitch. Popped up, Russo, little hopper, and Bella Russo, a heads-up senior play, let that one dribble foul, because if she picks that up, she's got to turn and fire a laser beam to first, and maybe gets Kawamura. Miski in the circle looking at this inning is 1 batter at a time right now. Hiram with the leadoff hitter at second. 2-1 pitch, another pop-up. Russo diving, catching! No throw at second, nobody there, but what a catch by the senior first baseman. Bella laid out as much as she possibly could.
Number 26, Dana Makaru.
Russo listed at 5'8", and she needed all 5'8" to get a glove on that softball. I mean, 5'8", and then you throw the arms out there. With the glove, it's probably 6'8" of length trying to get to that softball. So 1 out in the inning. First pitch to the number 3 hitter, Makaru, is high and inside for ball 1. Put a double star next to Bella Russo's play. Makaru 0 for 2, strikeout and a pop-up. Popped up to Barry in her last at bat. That's popped foul. Dana is from Hawaii. Played her high school softball at Mid-Pacific Institute. The 1-1 pitch. And it's just off the plate. It's ball 2. Cannell, her teammate, the senior in the circle, also from Mid-Pacific Institute in Hawaii. 2-1 pitch to the number 3 hitter. Here it comes. That is inside, this time just enough of the plate, and the count's even at 2. One out in the inning. 1 runner on for Hiram. At second base is Robles. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball and just foul. That one took a funny hop. Spun under the glove of Biz Berry, but the Spartans live for another pitch. Counts even on Makaru. Miski with a, boy, that was a tantalizing pitch. Tough one to take. Makaru did, and she's up in the count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Cano, the pitcher, is next. The 3-2 pitch from Miski, and that is foul deep, but that is out of play. That was hit an awful long way, but it was hit foul as well. Miskie's ready. Lamb's ready to receive. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Strike three. Lexi Miskey with a huge out.
Now batting, number 23, Darren Snell.
Well, the challenge gets even tougher for Miskey and the Spartans because at the plate is the number one hitter for Hiram. Lamb goes up and gets that high fastball. It's ball one. Ball two to Cano. Cano here today in Cleveland at Case, hitting .479 on the year. Tops on the team. She's in a hitter's count. Miskey, that's how much confidence Lexi has in that developed changeup to throw that in a 2-0 count to Hiram's best hitter with the possible only run of the game on at second base. It's a ball. The battle back starts now. That's a swinging strike for strike one. Cano wanted it. I mean, that's ball four, but she wanted that high heat. One pitch, one strike. It's one at a time right now for Miskey. Lamb looks over to Josie Henry in the dugout. Has the next pitch call, and here it comes. Inside, that is strike two. That was a picture-perfect pitch. That was under the hands of Cano, and the only spot it could be on the inside part of the plate. So the count's full. There are 2 outs in the inning. Runner on at second. It's Robles for Hiram. Miskey's ready. Here comes the pitch. Off speed, dropped in. What a pitch. Oh, my goodness, that was amazing. That was an off-speed floater that just froze, dropped, and Cano, the best hitter that Hiram could offer, had nothing to do but look at it. We head to the bottom of the sixth. Spartans trying to get their first hit, maybe their first run. That's next. So if the Spartans are going to do anything to get a little rally going here in the bottom half of the sixth, they're going to have to do it starting with the bottom part of their order. We got Zuzai, Steffes, and Durham scheduled to hit this inning, 7, 8, and 9 in Josie Henry's lineup. Zuzai steps to the plate first. Struck out swinging in her first at bat. Kaylin, a sophomore. Cano's ready. And that's a strike. Lola Thomas behind the plate for Hiram. Lola from Painesville Harvey High School. Zuzai ready to hit. Here comes Cano's pitch. Cano has faced the minimum. She is now in the 6th inning. So in the first 5, there are 15 batters. 14 of them came up and got out. The 15th, which happened to be the first batter at the beginning of the game, walked but was doubled up at second. That was Karen Potts. So walk, double up, ground out to second, line out in the 1st inning. Here comes the 2-1 pitch, and that gets away from the catcher. It's 3-1. 2nd inning for Cano went called strike 3, ground out back to the circle, ground out to second base. 3rd inning went strikeout swinging, strikeout swinging, strikeout swinging. And that was the bottom 3 in the order, and that's where she's at again. 4th inning went pop up in the infield to short, ground out to 3rd, ground out to 2nd, and then last inning, the 5th, ground out to 3rd, ground out to 2nd, pop up to 1st. It's been easy. Nobody's even hit it to the outfield. And there's another pop up in the infield.
Now batting, number 19, Elena Staples.
Steffes is at the plate. Elena came in to play right field back in the 3rd. Tara Fritcher had hit for Kate Coonan, the number 8 hitter in the Spartan lineup, back in the 3rd. And when Case Western went out on defense to start the 4th, it was Elena playing right field. She can hit it. She can hit it with power, too. First pitch, she had that on her mind. You know, probably a pretty good approach right there. She's thinking Cano's getting ahead of hitters. First pitch fastball. Don't let her get her to her change. So she locked in on it, took a good cut. No balls, 1 strike. The wind now blowing towards right field here from Mather Park. Next pitch on the outside part of the plate. It's a swing for strike 2. All it takes is 1. 1 swing of the bat can change the game. Will it come? Off the bat of Elena Steffes. Cano's ready to go. She's up in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Steffes is not going to see a fastball. Laid off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Elena Steffes has those sleeves on her jersey top rolled up to her shoulder, showing off her pipes, takes a swing. Wanted to flex the muscle on that one, fouls it right back. When you get that foul that comes right back, you were on it. Just missed it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cano toes the rubber. The senior's ready. Here comes the pitch to Thomas. And it's high heat for strike 3. So Steffes is down swinging, and that brings the number 9 hitter to the plate. That was the 5th strikeout of the game for Cano. The top of the order is next for Case Western, so you've got to ask yourself, I mean, what would you rather have? Durham just get out here, then you go to the 7th with the top of your order with nobody outs? Or do you want Durham to get on here and see what Karen Potts can do? It's a good question. Hiram's got 4 hits, no runs in. Spartan's still looking for their first hit. The pitch to Durham is called for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to the sophomore right-handed hitting Nyla Durham. This game is moved at a brisk pace. And we could be a long way away from it actually ending. I mean, this could go into extra innings the way it's going. Pitch to Durham. Nyla was fooled. That was just a wave, a half-hearted wave at a Cano offering. Cano, one strike away. That one's fouled back. One strike away from heading to the 7th. Still throwing a no-no. Fast Eddie Karakis, the sports information director for Case Western Reserve, was in my head. He knew what I was going to ask, and that's his Cano ever thrown a no-hitter? And Fast Eddie answered before I could ask. She has one in her career. The 1-2 pitch. Counts even at 2. Only one batter has reached a base for Case Western in this masterpiece being thrown by Cano right now, and that was the leadoff hitter a long time ago, bottom of the first rather, and that was Potts. She walked. The 2-2 pitch. Fly ball, left field line, down the line, under it, in foul territory, making a running catch is Moser. So Moser will end the inning. Nice play. We head to the top of the 7th, still in a scoreless game. As we head to the top half of the 7th in a scoreless game, the Spartans have put back their original outfield, and that's Ashley Miller in right and Kate Coonan in left, a couple of first-year corner outfielders. Nyla Durham, the sophomore, controlling things up the middle. Miskey in the circle, she has been spectacular. She'll start this 7th facing the number 5 hitter, Angel Santayan, and the first offering is under the hands, swinging Santayan with strike 1. Angel, in her first at bat in the 2nd, got hit by a pitch and was stranded at first as Miskey got the next 3 out. And then in her 2nd at bat, she hit a fly ball to right. That was caught by Elena Steffes. 0-1 pitch, strike 2. Miskey struck out the side in the 1st, struck out 2 more in the 2nd. Struck out a single batter in the 4th, and they got another strikeout, actually 2 in the 6th. So she's piling up the strikeouts. That one just missed. Lexi came into today with 126 strikeouts and 119 innings, and she's got 8 so far in 6 today. Make it almost 9. This is going to be a tough play. Biz Berry got to go quickly, and does. Berry across the field to Russo, and that's defense to start the 7th.
Now batting, number 6, Anna Marlowe.
Anna Marlowe comes to the plate, number 6 hitter. Marlowe, the sophomore third baseman. Marlowe is from Huntsville, Ohio. I told you about the Hawaiian and California influence. There are 9 players on this roster from the West Coast, but a couple from Ohio too. Thomas, the catcher from Paynesville. Levinsky, a infielder from Cortland, Ohio. Hannah here from Huntsville. Moser, the left fielder from Kent. So Ohio is represented on this Hiram team. The 1-1 pitch. And that hit her. So Hiram in the middle of their lineup right now gets a base runner. Marlowe's on with the second hit by pitch of the game from Miskey. So that brings Moser to the plate. Moser, the left fielder today, struck out swinging in the second inning and popped up to Kai Gross at second base back in the fifth. First pitch, bunt, popped up, Russo under it. Boy, Hiram has just shot themselves in the foot all afternoon trying to bunt runners over. They popped them up all day long. So Moser's pop-up is the second out of the inning. Well, Miskey's a seasoned veteran. I mean, she knows when a team's in a situation where they want to bunt a runner over. And if you can throw, a ball that rises, and Lexi's very good at that, it is hard for the hitters to get on top of it, to keep it on the ground. And you throw that rise ball or some movement that's moving up on a hitter trying to bunt, it's almost impossible for that hitter to get on top of it. So credit Lexi Miskey, actually, for making it really difficult for Hiram to get a bunt down today. Taking a look at Caitlin Lamb, and they're going to bring out the trainer. I didn't see what happened. Anybody see? Foul ball hitter in the mask? Okay. So they're checking to see if Caitlin still knows her middle name. She's smiling, but Caitlin always smiles. So that is no indication. Now she's laughing. So, boy, catcher. Who wants to play catcher, right? I mean, only the few, the proud want to play catcher. I give Caitlin the thumbs up. Giselle with a fist bump. Russo with a fist bump. Miskey says, let's go. 2 outs in the inning for Hiram. They have a runner at first. So Lamb will come back behind the plate. Miskey will head back to the circle. Spartans will fall back defensively. And stepping to the plate, number 33. For Hiram, Haven Papineau. Papineau, the number 8 hitter. Sophomore first baseman. Here comes Miskey's pitch. And that's a wave at it. Won't even call it a swing. That's what it looks like when you're absolutely fooled by a pitch. It happens. Some of the greats used to do that on purpose. Look absolutely fooled. Try to make that pitcher think that they can fool them again and then sit on it. Second offering is on the outside part of the plate, just off the plate. There are 2 strikes on Papineau. That was a tough one to take. The 1-2 pitch from Miskey. In on the hands. That's a foul ball. Did the runner leave early, I think is what they're asking. And what's interesting to me, the first base umpire has responded to absolutely almost nothing in this game. Every time the home plate umpire looks down to the first base umpire, there's no response. I'm not exactly sure what he was asking for because it was a swinging foul tip. The 1-2 pitch, off speed, that is trouble. Down the left field line and just foul. Whoa, that's a exhale foul ball right there. Papineau almost turned the game upside down. But it's just a foul ball. Miskey adjusts her elbow warmer on her right arm. Has the ball in her right hand, looks in at Caitlin Lamb, has the pitch she wants. Here it comes. Fastball that will not be chased. The count's even at 2. Papineau struck out in the second inning to close that inning. Was the second out in the 5th, popped up to Miskey. Lexi would like to make her the final out here in the 7th inning. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. Fouled right back. Papineau battling. Great work at the plate right now by Haven Papineau. Haven coming into today, hitting .234. 79 at bats on the year. This is number 80. Miskie's ready. Lamb's ready to receive it. Lexi, the wind and fire. And that's a swinging strike that Lamb is not going to get to. Everybody's going to be safe. And that will extend the inning. And you wonder. Torres comes to the plate.
Now batting, number 00, Ari Torres.
Ari Torres from Ontario, California, will come to the plate with 2 outs in a scoreless game with the go-ahead runner at second base. Torres' first pitch lined right back, strike 1. Torres, the number 9 hitter in the Scott Pullman Hiram lineup. Ari on the day popped up to first to Russo, grounded out to Karen Potts to end the 5th at shortstop. Miskie's ready, working quickly. Second pitch, off speed, and Lamb makes a nice block and stop. One ball, one strike on Torres. Miskey fouled off. I think Lexi Miskey over the years has learned to thrive in these situations. She does a great job of calming herself, walks behind the back end of the circle, adjusts that elbow warmer, gets ready to go, and does this. Strike 3. Again, Miskey finishes the inning with a strikeout. That's her 10th. And we head to the bottom of the 7th in a scoreless game. Case Western not only looking for their first run, they'd like to start it by getting their first hit. That's next. Something has to change for the Spartans here in the bottom half of the 7th. They haven't scored a run. They haven't had a hit. So the press box, being good teammates, we've all turned our caps around. We got the rally caps on here in the Spartan press box. Karen Potts at the plate, the leadoff hitter, the talented sophomore shortstop. The pitch from Cano, fly ball, left field, can of corn. Deep left, going back. Oh! Dropping it on the warning track. And the Spartans have led off the inning with Potts on at second. That was Moser going back, and it's ruled a double for Karen Potts. Boy, what a way to start an inning. What a way to start an inning when it's your final inning. And you've yet to not only have a hit, but score a run. This is Kai Gross. Arguably one of the best hitters in program history now at the plate. Tightens her grip on the bat. Here comes the pitch. Gross, right field. Fly ball. Under. Potts tags at second, will go to third. And Kai Gross has put her in a position, Potts, to end this softball game. So Gross with the sac fly to right, and that brings the senior first baseman Bella Russo to the plate. Infield will play in. The only thing that matters right now is Potts standing at third base. Potts matters for Case Western because if she scores, game's over. Potts matters for the defense of Hiram because if Russo hits a ground ball anywhere in the infield, they are keeping Potts. They're giving Potts a look. Doesn't mean they're going to throw home. They're going to look her back, throw to first to try to get the second out of the inning. So you can bet your bottom dollar the corners will pinch and the middle infielders will play tight. And that's exactly what they've set up. Fly ball to the outfield more than likely will end the game. This is Russo at the plate. Cano, what a masterpiece she has thrown today. She's ready to throw it. Thomas behind the plate. Here comes the pitch. And they'll say it's low for ball one. Russo on the ear. 24 runs batted in. That 25 number could win the game. It will win the game. The pitch to Russo. Ground ball. Right back to second. Quick throw to home. Sliding safe. Throw was high. Potts had a great jump. And the Spartans have won it. Karen Potts with a great jump. Throw a little high. It had to be perfect. It wasn't. And Case Western escapes with a 1-0 win over Hiram.